Welcome everyone to our very first Yincast. It's very exciting. Every month we'll be sharing some of our reflections on a topic that's been relevant to ourselves or our clients, and hopefully it will resonate with at least some of you.
Just one.
It would be enough.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm Alice. I'm a strategy facilitator here at Alembic.
I'm Anna. I'm the communications executive at Alembic.
And I'm Roseanna, also strategy facilitator.
So this month we're going to be discussing people change. It's quite a big topic, so we'll try and keep it brief for you. But we do have some exciting news. We've just hired 2 new members of staff.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. So it's actually been a topic of conversation in the office for some time now. So we thought we'd be a good topic for the podcast.
So it's been really interesting. So we've had some very exciting news that 2 people have joined us, and so it's brought up the question of how's that going to change the dynamic for us as a team. And interestingly, whilst we're going through a shift and hiring 2 new people, also reflecting on some of our clients, and a lot of our clients have continual shifts in staff, and quite a few of our clients at the moment are recruiting people, and some people are replacing roles and the challenges that they bring, but some people are quite employing people into new roles, and that invokes different changes. I guess for us, we're hiring 2 new roles, and so there's no expectation about what they're going to bring. So they're new roles, and so it's just all about the new and the additional contribution that they're going to bring. As opposed to when people are coming in and replacing somebody's role, that creates an expectation, I guess.
There's a comparison, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like comparing them to whoever came before and maybe some judgment.
Yeah, and I think that creates a real challenge, because all of a sudden that person arrives on day one and there's an immediate expectation, and we all know that they're never going to be like the previous person.
Might not be a bad thing in some cases, you never know.
But we still might have that expectation that they are, because they do the same role, etc.
I think it's quite interesting to think about how the culture changes. So even though we're hiring 2 new people and they're not doing roles they've done before, they're still going to have an impact on how we all react as a company and how we relate to each other in the office. And it's just going to be interesting to see how that changes the group dynamic.
Yeah,
I mean, it should be nice. Don't get me wrong, it'll be a positive change.
I mean, if anything, it's just an extra 2 cups of tea in the tea room, isn't it?
Yeah. So maybe less sarcasm as a general rule.
Hopefully not. Yeah, I think it's just as well because we're such a small team, I think it will really have an impact. But,
it's just not knowing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's definitely the worst part of it. It can become sort of at times a bit overwhelming and stressful if there's too much uncertainty. People don't always know how to deal with this level of change. But I think it's just remembering that this is amazing, that we're growing so much in such a short space of time. And I think it's also sort of living in the moment as well, and just focusing on the positive, because it is very exciting.
Yeah, I'm just reflecting on one of our clients at the moment who's actually recruited somebody, and there was quite a lot of nervousness in the team about this new role, and it was all about that uncertainty and the level of expectation of how that person is going to perform. And it's things about, do their personalities fit across the board? So you always sort of are aware of that in the recruitment process. So where may conflicts arise, who might they get on well with, who's going to be a natural support or mentor for them. And I think uncertainty is quite difficult for people, especially if that person who's leaving has been in post for a long time. And I just think in those cases it's really important that the new person coming in needs to be supported, but so too does everybody else around them that's going to be working with them. And, you know, setting the expectation before they've even started that things are going to be different, and, you know, there's going to be a bit of sort of compromise in the first few weeks or months to get used to that.
There are a lot of things you can actually do to manage the uncertainty and the doubts or the feelings, the emotions. As Nick was saying in the conference, you know, emotions are really useful and are important because, you know, I suppose they show your intuition. Like, it's useful to look at them, but also should keep them under control at times, and just learn to at least notice your emotions and just check, oh yeah, I'm having a reaction, why, what is it?
Yeah,
just
and also,
realizing,
is there an opportunity in this? So whether you feel positively or negative about it, so maybe because they're different, there's an opportunity to have different conversations. And so what opportunities, what different conversations can you have? What problems can they help you solve that maybe you wouldn't have been able to do before? So I think, you know, whilst it is quite the uncertainty can create sort of negative feelings, the positive feelings are that it can also be an opportunity and to think about things in a different way, and that diversity of thought is good.
Speaking of diversity, I suppose one of the biggest shifts for us is the fact that we've hired 2 men, because up until now we've been very female heavy. We've had a lot of clients actually say, when you hire men, well, it's happened, guys. Which is, yeah, it's quite exciting really. But, you know, I wonder whether that will make a difference. Will it make a difference? Does it even matter?
I think it probably will. I think in any small organisation, you know, an extra one person is like going to be like 15% of our workforce, and so it's like I think it will make a difference. I'm sure that it will be sort of have a positive or negative effect. I think it will just be slightly different, and, you know, I'm really excited about it, and I think the gender conversation is quite interesting, and so I'm quite curious to see how, you know, when collaborating on projects, do they think of things in a slightly different way, and sort of utilising that sort of perhaps difference in opinion.
I mean, personally, I find the gender talk a bit weird anyway. Like, we're all just people.
Yeah.
I don't really see the big differences.
Yeah, so it's going to change just because we've got 2 new people in. And I think what's more going to change is actually the fact that the space is going to be a lot more cramped, and actually, but I think that's good. I think it's good that we're all going to be in one office, and we're all going to be, you know, it forces you to get to know each other, but also about overhearing conversations. So, you know, when people start here, and also when I've started in jobs, it's just as much about sort of, you know, learning the processes and actually just overhearing like those other conversations that, you know, how do people talk on the phone, and what is sort of like the style of people, and sort of how do people build relationships when you're on the phone and stuff like that, and just overhearing the sort of types of conversations. I think it's going to be really cool. So it's not necessarily like this is how we do things, and this is our process, and this is all the work that I'm doing, but also just like there's more subtleties of just sort of learning from just being around each other. Is going to be quite cool.
And also it would just be more collaborative, I think, as well. You can sort of jump in and jump out of things. Like you said, if you overhear something, you can offer your opinion and your help if they need it.
I'm pretty interested, because now that we're going to be that size, so up until now, a lot of the time we've all worked on clients at various times, but now we might actually not be working on the same clients altogether. It might be more split up, and you'll be working on those clients and you'll be working on those clients, and we'll just kind of talk generally about work but not actually know all the details everything.
I actually think that's really exciting for me professionally, because it means that you don't have somebody that knows all the detail of it, and sometimes you do want somebody that's a little bit on the outside and has a little bit more independence and actually has a different perspective. And so, you know, when you don't know the detail, maybe you can see things from a different point of view, and that perspective is really you know, really valued, and really looking forward to having that. So, because it's sometimes when you're in the thick of a project, it's really difficult to sort of zoom out and think, actually,
You're almost in a bubble sometimes.
Yeah,
aren't you?
yeah,
Hard to see it from a different perspective.
absolutely.
So I think people quite often, initially at least, see change as a bad thing. It's just not familiar. It's not a comfortable space for most people. So I think it'd be good to highlight some more reasons why we think change is good. I think personally for us, it's, as we've touched on before, it's the fact that we're growing. So I think that's really exciting and great, and what companies want is to be able to grow. So our change is because we're doing well.
Yeah.
People like us.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting. So we work in change, and we describe ourselves as, change consultants. So it'd be, fascinating to see how we respond to this change. I think it's, I'm really excited about it, actually.
Got to walk the walk and not just talk the talk.
Absolutely. You practice what you preach, right? I think for me, like, the reason why this change is so good for us is that it's a massive opportunity to grow, and as Anna says, start to sort of separate a little bit more, and that's really good. And so it's really exciting times for us, and so I think it just creates an opportunity to learn from more people and have different people's perspectives
to challenge how we're doing things, because we might not see it like that. They might come in and challenge what we do, and it'll probably be a bit uncomfortable, but actually
welcomed.
Yeah, hopefully.
Absolutely.
And I think just from what we see with our clients as well, is that change is just so important in life, but also in business. Most businesses, if they didn't change, probably wouldn't still be around. So actually change is vital. I think with it we thrive, and without it probably wouldn't be here. So
So I think we've covered some really important points there. It's really important to recognise that every business is going through change, and I think especially in the context of people coming and going, and that in our workforce and the modern working world, it's becoming more and more challenging, and so we do have to get used to sort of different people coming in and working with different people. So I think it raises a really good point. So you can follow our story on how our 2 new recruits join us, and you'll all get to know them over the coming months. We hope you found this interesting, useful.
Hopefully you're still listening,
and getting a feel for the sort of Yincast that we'll be giving to you on a monthly basis. So it'll just be our reflections on something topical or interesting that's happening to us, and just starting a conversation. So feel free, if anything has come up in today's Yincast that you have found interesting or want to talk to us more about, just drop either of us an email or messages on social media, and we'd be happy to have a further conversation with you.
If you have any ideas for themes for next time,
submit.
Yeah, we're always open for talking about something that's happening to you, and I'm sure we'll have stories to tell. So like to hear from you. You can contact us on social media or on our website.
Look forward to hopefully hearing from some of you soon on that.
And thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.